Breaking news this morning, folks. The US State Department has approved the potential sale of hundreds of Tomahawk missiles to Australia. Live to Canberra now, Trudy McIntosh joins us. Trudy, what more do we know about this?
Well, Pete, this has just dropped on Reuters, the Pentagon confirming the potential sale of up to 220 Tomahawk missiles to Australia. I'll run you through some of the details. This is just coming into hand that the US State Department has approved the potential sale of these in a deal it says worth up to $895 million US dollars. So that's around 1.3 billion Australian dollars. The Pentagon confirming that this would be up to 220 Tomahawk cruise missiles and also the technical support. The Pentagon's Defence Security Cooperation Agency notified the US Congress of this potential sale on Thursday US time. Despite this approval, though, the notification doesn't necessarily indicate that this has all been finalised, but the next step, it appears, for Australia to acquire more of these Tomahawk missiles. As for what they can actually do, they hit land and maritime targets for at least 1,500 kilometres. The Virginia-class nuclear-powered submarines that Australia will be acquiring does have the capacity to hold Tomahawks on board. So that could indicate that this is all linked to AUKUS. We know when AUKUS was announced 18 months ago, there was discussion about Tomahawk missiles being a part of this whole arrangement. No confirmation yet from the Australian side of things. I've reached out to the Defence Minister's office, but we're yet to hear back to confirm that this is part of the AUKUS deal. We know that the purchase of these fleet of nuclear-powered submarines has been controversial amongst some sections of the Australian Labor Party, in particular Paul Keating scathing in his attack on that at the National Press Club. The Prime Minister pressing back on that in both the substance and the tone in which he was not only critical of the deal itself, but also senior ministers, including Richard Marles and Penny Wong. As for the cost of AUKUS, $368 billion was the estimate over 30 years. How will that be paid for? The Prime Minister was pressed on that last night.
So NDIS has come up in discussions. It's an expensive program. It'll only get more expensive. Stage 3 tax cuts, are those things going to be touched?
Well, look, we will look at, over a period of time, governments are going to have to look at the budget. That's the truth, but all governments have to do that. But we think this is a responsible commitment that we're made.
So, Pete, just to reiterate that breaking news there, the Pentagon confirming this out of the US State Department, up to 220 Tomahawk missiles on the way to Australia, it seems, as a part of this AUKUS arrangement.
Okay, yeah, and that sounds positive in terms of what might then come after that, Trudy. Appreciate that all across that detail and fast this morning, as always. Thanks, Trudy.